let's talk a little bit about the tag team division in WWE as a whole, because when I look at the card for Sunday's WrestleMania, there is one glaring issue that I have. And it's not that we have the New Day versus the War Raiders, because I think that match should be on the WrestleMania card, but not instead of the WWE tag team titles. I think the WWE tag team titles deserved better. As of right now, the plan, at least as we know it, is Street Profits versus the Motor City Machine Guns on the Friday night SmackDown before WrestleMania. That taking place at T-Mobile Arena to kick off the weekend. And don't get me wrong, that should be a great match. The Street Profits are on an absolute tear right now. The Motor City Machine Guns have been entertaining since they stepped foot in WWE, so I'm sure that match will go off very well. What I will say about that match is there cannot, and I cannot emphasize this enough, if it's going to be on the Friday night SmackDown before Mania, there cannot be any interference. The only way that I am okay with there being interference in this matchup, in this title match, is if it leads to what we've all expected there to be, which was a multi-team ladder match on one of Saturday or Sunday. That's the only way I would be okay with there being interference in this match. But at the same time, if there isn't any interference, it wouldn't make any sense. All 5 of these teams on the SmackDown tag team division have been intertwined and interfering in each other's matches for months leading up to WrestleMania 41. Is DIY just going to chill and be like, yeah, that's fine. That's how the titles are going to be defended, and we're not going to be involved at all on WrestleMania weekend. We might as well not even show up, or we'll just sit in catering. No, it wouldn't make any sense. Would Pretty Deadly and Los Garza just chill in the back and say, you know what, we've been fighting really hard for TV time, and we've done really good with the time we've been given, but it's all right. Maybe post-WrestleMania, when a lot of the general eyes aren't on the sport as much, that's when we'll try to shine, and maybe we'll get them next year. No, it wouldn't make sense. Even Miz and Hayes, I know that's a very new combination, but you're telling me the Miz isn't going to be involved at anything this weekend? You're telling me Carmelo Hayes, who not 9 months ago was the first overall pick in the WWE draft to SmackDown, he's not going to be involved in WrestleMania? I mean, that's a gross misjustice there. So it wouldn't make any sense for there not to be interference. But with this matchup, with this title, they need, especially because they've run out of time, they need, if it's just going to be straight up Profits versus Guns, if that's the WrestleMania weekend matchup, there needs to not be interference. That needs to just be a matchup that showcases both of these teams for what they are, which is 2 of the top tag teams under the main question, which is, why are these titles relegated to the SmackDown before Mania to begin with? The World Tag Team Championships over on Monday Night Raw have not had nearly the same amount of steam as these WWE Tag Team Championships. Now, again, I am not trying to take a shot at the War Raiders, because every single time the War Raiders get in that ring and defend those titles, I'm entertained. I've loved all the work that they've done, and in the short period of time, I've liked this matchup between War Raiders and the heel version of the New Day. Specifically, you look at these 2 teams and what they've done leading into this WrestleMania match. The War Raiders have 2 title defenses in 5 months since they won back in, November, December? Meanwhile, the New Day, their first feud after excommunicating Big E, was feuding with LWO because, well, Rey Mysterio kicked them out of the locker room and they took umbrage with that. Okay. But they really didn't face Rey. Yeah, they injured Rey. There was one singles match with Rey. But most of the time, it was them versus a combination of Dragon Lee, Cruz del Toro, or Joaquin. Was it Joaquin Wilde? I believe it's Joaquin Wilde. But here's the thing. The latter 2 there, Cruz and Joaquin, They haven't won a match in over 9 months. I keep track of these things because I'm a nerd. I like spreadsheets. So every Monday, every Friday, I go down through, I keep track of who wins, who loses, and I give them a record. I started doing that in July of last year. And in that time, Cruz and Joaquin are 0-4, which means not only have they not won, but they have barely even wrestled on TV. And that was who New Day just got finished up feuding with. And all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, them versus War Raiders gets a spot on WrestleMania. Meanwhile, this SmackDown tag division, which has been heating up since late last year with all 5 of these teams, that's not deserving of a spot, especially in a ladder match. We don't have a ladder match going into WrestleMania for the first time in Lord knows how long. That division deserves to be showcased. Again, not saying that the Raw tag team titles don't. The world titles on Raw, yeah, I like War Raiders versus New Day. It should be on the card. But you should also add another one to the card, and that should be a 6-team ladder match, giving these teams an opportunity to get the payoff that it deserves of all the work that they've done leading into WrestleMania. I don't know. Maybe, just maybe, there's still a chance and they still end up with that 6-team ladder match. Maybe there is interference and that's the way that we get into the 6-team ladder match. I mean, it's not the only match that we're expecting on Mania that hasn't been made official just yet. So maybe we do get that. But man, even though both should be on the card, if WWE was to only choose one, it should have been the SmackDown tag division that got that spotlight.